and welcome back to another episode of Practical Penmanship. I think that this statement perfectly summarizes the pen for today, and that is that writing is a pleasure. It's something that you want to do, it's something that you enjoy doing, and it gives pleasure to other people. But so too is the writing instrument that allows you to create that writing, whether it be a fountain pen or, say, a mechanical keyboard. They all work like well oiled machines to give the writer that much more pleasure when creating their works. The pen for today, the Platinum 3776 Century Ultra Extra Fine, perfectly embodies that sentiment. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the measurements and comparisons, the feel in the hand, and then I'll do a writing sample. The 3776 Century has a rather conservative cigar-shaped design, although that is not the intent of this pen. In what it lacks in design prowess, it makes up for in its function. For example, the slip and seal cap mechanism prevents the pen from drying out for up to 2 years by utilizing a spring connected to the inner cap, which pushes back when the section is screwed in to the pen body. You can actually feel it a little bit when you get to a certain point on the threads. Resistance builds, and that's essentially what keeps the pen writing for a very long time. And again, as they claim, 2 years. One thing I find slightly interesting is the inclusion of a chart showing how the 3776 does a better job than our other fountain pen for not allowing ink to dry. Another interesting aspect of the 3776 is the cap band, which is actually in the same rotation in accordance to the clip on every pen, meaning that the words 3776 will align with the clip. Rotating the band, it also has the Platinum logo as well as their nameplate and the words Made in Japan. The clip has a good amount of spring. It does a pretty good job clipping on to thicker garments. Plastic quality is also quite high. A lot of the molding lines, except for on the section, are well hidden. In fact, you can't really see them at all. However, I do think that the plastics in some of its contemporaries, such as Sailor, are a little bit better and just a little bit more scratch resistant. Unscrewing the cap, you'll see there's a slight step down to the barrel. However, I find it rather unintrusive. Just a little bit more so, though, than, again, some of its contemporaries. The section has a decent girth, and I find this pen comfortable, posted or unposted. Balance is quite good generally, although I think it's just a little bit better when it's unposted. Just my personal preference. The nib is a rather large 14 karat nib with the words 3776 inscribed as well as platinum. This particular nib is an ultra extra fine, which is indeed very fine. The 3776 uses Platinum's proprietary cartridge converter system, and one free cartridge, blue-black, and one converter is included with the pen. One nice thing about these converters is that they're easily disassemblable, and they work quite well in my experience. I haven't had any issues, although I do wish that they were standard international. As you can see, this is a very fine nib, finer than even some of the extra fines from other Japanese manufacturers. Probably one of the finest that you can buy. In comparison, if we pull out a Sailor Medium, I know I've mentioned them quite a bit in this review, but you can see it's quite a bit thicker, and actually, compared to this Kaweco Medium, it makes the Platinum look like a razor. As thin as a razor blade, however, it does not write like a razor blade. It's actually a rather smooth nib. That being said, it is not as smooth as most thicker nibs. It does have a fair bit of feedback. You can definitely feel and also hear that the pen is writing. Personally, I really like this feedback. However, it might be something that you want to try out in person because this pen is not going to be for everyone's taste. But there is an advantage. It is very great for cheaper papers as well as like math or something where you really need a fine nib. If essentially the finest nib is what you're after, apart from any specialized grind, this is probably a good pen for you. Overall, I think that this is a great pen for the typical US asking price of $150, and I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to anyone looking for a sturdy and practically beautiful fountain pen that comes in a wide variety of well-tuned nib sizes. If you are looking to buy this pen for a little bit cheaper, you can order directly from Japan. However, I wouldn't recommend it for a couple of reasons. First, you don't get the same peace of mind that if anything were to go wrong with your pen, if you were to receive it, for example, and it didn't write well, which I'm not saying would exactly happen with a pen as high quality as this, but if that were to happen, you'd probably be taken care of if you bought it from your local retailers. And you're not supporting those retailers if you go and buy it from some other country. And it's very important to, because if you don't, they can crumble. I've seen where like local stores have disappeared because people didn't buy from them. And it's a sad sight to see, especially as this is a niche hobby. We should be supporting the people around us as much as we can. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. Feel free to visit the Facebook channel for updates on new videos, as well as some other extra content.